Yeah, here we are, Penfield, South Austin. Chris Mosier at the Roadhouse, 98.1 KVET. We got a cool show that's going to be happening at Momo's, which is one of our higher quality rooms here in the city of Austin, which is saying something. It's a tribute to Blind Willie Johnson, who is very much your old school Texas blues man. And one of the primary attractions of the show is one Scott H. Biram, who's sitting here with us.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Excellent. Blind Willie Johnson. Now just hearing about the show itself, I really, I'm not a really huge blues guy. I'm not real informed on the blues, frankly, I'll admit. But Blind Willie Johnson apparently is a bit of a giant as far as old school Texas blues goes.
Yeah.
What do you know about Blind Willie, Scott?
He's one of the older blues guys from when they started recording stuff. I don't know a whole lot about him, but I found him on old Smithsonian Folkways recordings a long time ago. I'm studied up on a lot of blues. Unfortunately, I don't know a whole lot about Blind Willie Johnson. Yeah. But I do know that this benefit thing coming up is to pay for a memorial headstone for him. These guys that put this thing together. Going around looking at old blues guys' headstones, and they couldn't find one for Blind Willie Johnson, and that's pretty sad because he's a pretty well-known guy. So this is to kind of raise some money to make sure that he's paid proper respect.
Absolutely. Well, the story I've heard about Blind Willie is that I believe he's from East Texas, and I want to say the hard to find graves site that they found was in the Beaumont area.
Yeah.
And the story with Blind Willie was he was one, like as Scott said, one of the earlier blues guys to actually get stuff recorded. He, however, towards the end of his life was largely destitute. In fact, the story is that his house burned down and that he lived the last little while of his life in the burned out remains of his house, and actually ended up contracting malaria, which is what killed him.
Well, you know a lot more than I do, man.
So that's a huge bummer, and even more a bummer that his grave site was basically, he was buried and forgotten. And so the good part of it is that he's no longer forgotten now, and that's the basis for the benefit happening over at Momo's, is to foster his name and remember him more properly with a proper grave.
And I'm proud to be part of it. Something that historical like that. It's a good thing to be part of.
Absolutely. So you were telling me a second ago, the music you're going to do at the benefit is not necessarily Blind Willie's music, but stuff that comes from Blind.
Well, I got two or three that are really closely related to his songs. But I learned them off of different artists. Actually, John the Revelator, I did learn that off of Blind Willie Johnson. God Moves on the Water, the story of the Titanic. That one, the one I learned was from, I think, Book of White or Nance Lipscomb or someone like that. But it's based around the same thing that Blind Willie's version is. And then Fixin' to Die, which I learned off of Bob Dylan and Buck of White, but I think that's grown from a song that Blind Willie wrote called Jesus Gonna Make Up My Dying Bed. So yeah. I'm not necessarily the best person to be covering Blind Willie Johnson for this, but I'm glad they asked me, and I'll do my best to get something close.
I think it's gonna be awesome. Let's play a tune for us, why don't we?
All right, man. This one's the story of the Titanic. God Moves on the Water. I'll try to play it. Well, on the 15th day of April, year of 1912, Titanic hit the iceberg, it's almost too sad to tell. God moves, God moves, God moves on the water, Lord. The people got to run astray. They had a boat was sinking. They sent lifeboats all around. They said, save the women and the children. You got to watch your man go down. God moves. God moves. God moves on the water. The people got to run and pray. Yeah, the lifeboats reached the landing. The women looked all around. They said, look out over that ocean. You got to watch your man go down. God moves. God moves. God moves on the water. People got to run and pray. People got to run and pray. Yeah, the captain was sleeping, laying down, he tired. Woke up in a great fright, all the women done gone ashore. God moves, God moves, God moves on the water. The people got to run and pray. Jacob Paps was a millionaire, plenty of money to spare. That boat was sinking and he couldn't pay his fare. God moves, God moves, God moves on the water. The people got to run and pray. Well, the people got to run and pray. On the 15th day of April, in 1912, Titanic hit the iceberg. It's almost too sad to tell. God moves, God moves, God moves on the water. The people got to run and pray. All the people got to run and pray.
Nice. Scott H. Biram on the porch here at KVET. And the things going on at Momo's Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Awesome. It's a tribute to Blind Willie Johnson.
Blind Willie Johnson, who had a lot of songs where he sang like this, really low, like John the Revelator. Who's that burden? John the Revelator. He had that really scratchy voice, man.
Yeah. Well, that makes you a pretty good fit for this gig, I think.
What do you mean?
Awesome, dude. It's great to see you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
We should mention Ruthie Foster and Gurf Morlix and a bunch of others playing too.
All kinds of slide players. I didn't play any slide here, but also Blind Willie Johnson was known for his slide picking. So, and I didn't do any.
Well, it's all good. Thanks so much for checking it out. Scott Biram.
Yeah. Yeah.